It gives me great pleasure today to welcome the wonderful Sallee and Jennifer, or Jeni. I know you should say Jeni rather than Jennifer. I sound like a teacher now. The wonderful Sallee and Jeni are joining us. Sallee and Jeni, aka Jenallee. This is why we've called this double impact, by the way. It's not just Microsoft and Wakelet. It's not just Teams and Wakelet, it's also the incredible team, which is Jenallee. We're going to be talking all about how Microsoft Teams works with Wakelet. And I know a lot of you might not necessarily use Microsoft Teams as your learning platform, but I'm sure that many of the ideas which are shared today will apply regardless of whether or not you use Microsoft Teams. But if you do, then you're in for a real treat, and I'm sure you'll hear loads of ideas as we go across. As usual, our webinars are super interactive, so please share all of your thoughts and your ideas in the chat with us. And without further ado, I'm going to pass over to the incredible Jenallee to take us off.
Well, thank you, Misbah. Thank you so much for inviting us today, and we can't wait to share with you. So we're going to go ahead and do our introduction. We're going to pull up our Wakelet so you can kind of see our contact information and how you can get a hold of us or connect with us. So
I'll be sharing that in the chat with everybody as well. So if everybody wants to take a look at the collection, which Sallee are going through, I've just shared it in the chat there, and I'll keep sharing it as we go along as well. So sorry.
No, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, feel free to jump in at all. Just, I mean, we're constantly interrupting each other and stopping each other. So
it works better when we're together in webinars, because when we're at two separate computers, it doesn't work very well over.
Awesome. If I have any questions for the experts, I'll definitely jump in and ask as well on behalf of the
That's good. All right. So my name is Jeni Long.
And I'm Sallee Clark.
And we are Jenallee. So we are instructional technologists with Eagle Mountain Saginaw Independent School District, which is a little bit north of Fort Worth, Texas. So I know we have some Texans in here today. So we're super excited that you've joined us. And we service over 21,000 students in our district, and we have 28 schools. So Sallee and I, on a team of 8 other instructional technologists, we have a director and a team of great educators and people that we get to work with every day, and we get to go out and do PD for our teachers. We go in classrooms and model lessons, and we just love our jobs because we just feel like we have the best of both worlds. We get to work with students and we get to work with teachers, and we just get to see those light bulbs come on every day, and we get to be a part and impact learning, and it's just so much fun. And we love being able to use Wakelet and different tools like this, and we are a Microsoft district as well, so I will make that note there that we use all the tools that Microsoft has to offer, and we just love being able to watch our students learn and create. And we are in the process right now of getting all of devices in our students' hands. So we are super excited about that. We are kind of now almost one-to-one, which we have not been in the past and really wasn't on the radar. So we're super excited, not about COVID, but that is a good result that came out of it, as we were, our hand was forced to get more devices for our students to have access. So we're really excited about that and can't wait to see how. We love when our teachers say, I made a Wakelet of this and I used a Wakelet for that. So we love that it's spreading, and we just can't wait to share some things that we're doing in our district. And we have a collection that we have put in, Misbah put it in the chat. So that is what we're going to just present from. And we have our contact information in there for you. So just want to kind of show you, we do have a link tree that kind of is one link for you to have to keep up with that has all of our information. We have a YouTube show. So we love to go in and work with teachers, and we have people come on our show that we interview and just kind of talk about education and things that teachers are doing in their classrooms. So we do some tutorials and little tips. We're starting, Sallee's starting to explore TikTok.
I got the whoa.
So yep, we're getting into TikTok there. So check out our YouTube channel.
We are really not dances on YouTube.
No, it's just all tutorials. We'll dance eventually. We'll get there.
I don't think so.
We'll see. But we also have a Twitter. We have separate Twitters, and we have a combined Twitter as well. And we also have a Facebook page, and we started on Instagram recently. So we would love to connect with you. If you have questions or need anything, we have so many friends across the world, and that's what we love about this, is it's such a global community, and we can't wait to work with you guys in the future, hopefully, and connect. So our contact information is there, so reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'll go ahead and get started.
So we've inserted in our Wakelet an Adobe Spark page that we're kind of going to give you the agenda and kind of cover what we're going to talk about. I don't know if you use Adobe Spark or not, but we just also want to give them a quick plug because we love their creations. And we also love how beautifully they embed into Wakelet. Like this is the beautiful icon it inserted for us. So
I think that was one of the big announcements that Wakelet made recently was that collaboration with Adobe. So we were super excited and we wanted to model that for you today.
It was, yeah. We really lucky to have that amazing integration. And I think you've used it absolutely perfectly as well. I love that picture. I've seen that picture before. Back when I used to do webinars on a different platform, I would use that picture as like the lobby screen. So great minds think alike.
It's the perfect way,
it really
for
is.
sure. So we're going to jump into that Spark page. And what we love about Adobe Spark is it's so easy. Our students have access to it and we can make great videos. We can make awesome infographics and beautiful websites.
I think what I also like about it is that you can make it extremely simple, which a lot of times, especially now doing a lot of online learning, too much visual items on the screen can just be overwhelming. So it's really nice that Adobe is clean. They have templates ready to go, and I can really make things streamlined quickly, which is nice. I think I made this in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
And it looks like you spent hours and hours.
It does.
So.
I mean, I did not.
So here's our contact information again. So you have that. And then these are just kind of some things that we're going to touch on today. 3 important things. We're going to show you how you can embed Wakelet into Teams and how you can use it with assignments and also how you can curate content using Wakelet and integrate that in with Teams. So just kind of a quick little rundown of each of those. We're just going to show you how you can add collections and spaces on your top tab. So we love using the top tab. It's one of our favorite pieces of Microsoft Teams. And we're also going to show you how you can,
send Wakelets to Teams. Yeah, so as a post.
And then we're going to curate Teams content in a Wakelet. We're going to send posts to Wakelet collections and then how you can respond on a post with a Wakelet collection and also how you can use it with assignments. So we are huge proponents of using Teams assignments and using Wakelet, and OneNote is also another one of our big favorites. But we love using Wakelet as a discussion board, a back channel, a resource collection, and just a good video lesson and directions. Like you've probably seen our Wakelet, it's out there about using Wakelet for tutorials. So what a great idea to just create a Wakelet for instructions or tutorials. So.
What a perfect segue, Jenny. We didn't even practice this, but speaking of tutorials, we kind of wanted to give you a background of how we really started using Wakelet in our district. Last spring, as COVID-19 came to Texas, we were sent into emergency remote learning. And so that means all of our teachers and students were working from home and learning from home. And something that we were doing as instructional technologists was making tutorials quickly, like overnight, 5 seconds. I mean, it was constant because teachers needed help, students needed help, families needed help. And so we were creating Wakelets left and right for tutorials for our people to be able to find how to get into our content, how to learn within the content that they had. And so that's really where we started as a district, started really using Wakelet. And so we kind of wanted to show you what it looks like and how we started with that. Let me pull that over real quick. All right, so you can see we started with remote learning. So we have all of our Canvas Wakelets because we use Canvas, our Canvas LMS for the high school students. We also have remote learning in Teams. So here's how we do remote learning in Teams. Then we had our distance learning, which is what really was in the spring, and different tutorials for Office 365 tools, apps, and breakouts. So this is kind of how we started last year in the spring. As we moved into the fall, though, now we were remote for the first few weeks, but now we are in person with choice remote, meaning people can choose to either stay home and learn from home, or they can come to school and learn in person. And so through that, we've now created even more different tutorials for them to be able to use within Wakelet. And so that's how we've been organizing it.
And just, we've kind of touched on it, but just so you know too, our district as a whole uses Microsoft Teams K5 and then Canvas 612. So all of our elementary students are well versed in Teams and using all of this integrated together.
So all of that, we had to figure out how do we now transfer that into the fall as we're starting to learn. So like Jeni mentioned, now in the fall, in the spring, it was kind of emergency. So everybody just used in the district what they were already using to learn with. However, in the fall, as we came into forced remote, we wanted to be more unified in what we pushed out as a district to our students and teachers. So we chose to be K-5 Microsoft Teams. And so we took these Wakelets and we integrated them into Teams as we began. So we kind of want to show you what we did with our channels and how we integrated our Wakelets in there.
I'll show this one real
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
One of our favorite things to do with Wakelet is to actually take Wakelets and put them inside of Wakelet, and we call that a tidal wave. So this one right here is the one that we use on our district web page, and so we referred everyone to this one. So when you open up this one, this was back in the fall, spring. In this one, then we had multiple. Is this the right one? Had multiple Wakelets with inside of the Wakelet.
No, that's the wrong one. I think it is actually, that's what these are over here in the Teams.
This one wasn't it? That one looks
Yes.
better. Yes. So then you can see how we have it laid out, and you can choose the way that the board looks. So we like this look because it kind of looks more Pinteresty, where you can kind of see the collections.
And it
a little
kind of
bit
looks
better.
like buttons, like, oh, I want to know about Word, so I'm going to click on this button, but it really takes you to another collection, all with tutorials about Microsoft Word.
So we created one collection that consisted of many collections. So then it's easier just to send that one link. So that's kind of what we did back in the spring.
And then we took that and moved it forward into the fall and really customized our buttons and our content. So I'm going to bring over our team for you to be able to see here. And so in our team, we created some channels for our parents and our students to be able to easily see what was happening. So we have like a start here, we have student orientation, Teams etiquette, our class meetings, our syllabus, our library, and even like a raise your hand section. So inside our start here tab, we have a Wakelet, which isn't a surprise, I guess. But inside of it, you can see we customized our buttons to fit our content. So we have like, here's how you get to your weekly lessons. You can also click here for Teams orientation, which takes you to another Wakelet of tons of tutorials for Teams. We also have student and parent resources, and then also how to get a hold of our help desk. So it really organized all of our content inside of our team for our parents and students to be able to easily find information and get help when they need it.
I think one thing that our district really wanted to make sure we did in this fall time was to streamline content and platforms. So we really wanted to minimize there being a million different places to go for information. So we just, I mean, Sallee and I always gravitate to a Wakelet. Like every time we're like, let's make a Wakelet, make a Wakelet. So it was just great. It just kind of came naturally, like, let's just put all of that information in a Wakelet. And then if we put it in the team that every teacher is using, because we also built templates for them, we gave them like a shell that they use for their classes. So then everyone, and we'll show you the document that we use too, we gave a document with the links to all of these Wakelets. So then the teachers had that document and they were able to easily add those collections to their team. So across the district, everyone was presenting the same information to parents and to students. And so there was, kind of unanimous, we all have the same information.
All uniform, everybody knew where to look, no matter if their kid was in kindergarten or 3rd grade or 5th grade, they all knew exactly where the content was. And so it really made things much easier and streamlined for everyone in the district. We even made one for etiquette. So like, let's see this one. And so it's going to have directions for how we teach etiquette for 3rd through 5th graders using Microsoft Teams. So like we have our etiquette graphic, and then we even broke it down, meaning what does academic chat mean? What does a good learning environment mean? What does and so that really helped as well. And then we even gave them norms for our meetings.
I think this is the one we constantly stress to teachers because this is an unknown territory. It's new to everyone. So we were like, we wanted them to make sure that they had these preset channels so that they're constantly revisiting, how do we behave? What is our, interactions supposed to look like on Teams, on this different platform? And so just like you start off your school in person with classroom rules and procedures, we really stress to teachers it's so important to go through this etiquette. So we wanted to make sure, and they could change the image or make their own graphic, but we would try to give them as much as we could up front.
And just another little thing about Adobe Spark here, that is actually what we used to make the graphic was Adobe Spark. And then we gave the teachers the template link. So then they were able to go in and change it and make it their own.
Good question, Jessica.
What, is that what she
Yeah,
asked?
she said,
Oh,
did you make the visual edit in Spark?
you read my mind. Oh my goodness. Yes, exactly. So, and that's one of the things we love about Spark as well, is we can share out that template link and teachers can really customize.
So this is like a real kind of triple threat app smash, isn't it? You've got a Spark in a Wakelet and then a Wakelet in a Teams, and then within the Wakelets you've also got other Wakelets as well.
Yes.
You know what's quite interesting. We were when like quite a while ago we had so many people asking, we actually never used to allow Wakelet collections in collections because as a team, we thought that it's going to get really confusing for people because they're just going to go right down the rabbit hole. But then eventually, so many educators were like, no, that's not going to happen. You need this. It's really good for organization. We're like, okay, let's do it and let's make it look good as well. That's the first thing. Secondly, I absolutely love that you have instructions on things like etiquette on Zoom calls and how to behave in an online environment, because I've done so many webinars with so many educators and community. I have so many conversations every week, and one of those things is these kids don't necessarily know how to behave on Zoom. They don't know and also teachers are looking for like cues to know that their kids are engaged, right? And it's not just staring at the screen, because it's really nice, I think, that you've put this together as like a nice foundation for students when they first are adapting to this online remote learning, to look at and be like, okay, this is what's expected of me. This is how I should, behave. These are the rules. Whether they follow them or not, that's a different question. But the fact that they're there, I think, is really important.
And I think that's the most important part, is that we show our expectations first, so that way they know exactly what we expect of them when they come into our digital class. So
yeah, and that's a big thing, learning how to have academic vocabulary when you're speaking, and to be proper and polite, and to be positive, and just not our conversation like kids would normally joke and cut each other down. We want to be affirming, and all of that is just things teachers would talk about normally in person, but I think it was a hard transition for them to really realize you have to do that again online. Like, this is even more important because you're not there with them. So this is a big one we stressed.
I do want to just quickly talk about, I'm sure if you use Teams, you probably know how to add a Wakelet to the top tab, but we do want to show, kind of talk about it for just a moment. If you are adding a Wakelet, we suggest using the actual Wakelet integration in the top tab. So when you press the plus button at the top, we suggest actually using this because it embeds a little prettier, and it doesn't pop up and ask if you want to create a Wakelet. And so we really like this integration
versus a website.
Because you can add it as a website too, which actually that is how we add our spaces, is as websites. But as a Wakelet collection, we do like using the Wakelet button. So we just want to suggest that you do that. Another thing I suggest, and maybe it's more of like, just think about it. Every time you add a top tab in Teams, it asks you if you want to post to the channel about this tab. And used to, Jeni and I would be like, oh, that's so annoying. I hate that because I don't want my post to get like filled with a bunch of content. However, if you are making specific channels for this, post is the first thing that you see when you come to this section. And so being the first thing that you see, it might be nice to have something right here where you could quickly click it rather than coming up here and having to go to the page. So that's just something to think about in leaving that post whenever you do create it.
Let's show them the document and how we put the tabs in.
I think you added it to this
class
team.
materials. Yes. So we put together a really nice document in general.
Thank you.
A really nice document for our teachers. So when we went through the beginning of the year and we did training with them, we gave them this document as we set up the template for them, and then we gave them this channels for Teams standardization. Say that 10 times.
Yeah, good luck.
So this was the document that had everything that they needed. It had the link to all the Wakelets. It had the link to videos. It had links to this amazing PowerPoint introduction, meet the teacher that Sallee made. I mean, we gave them so much. And so then we just walked them through how to add these links as top tabs. So it was really fun. I love it.
I know. And I love that it was easy. Like at first, I think when you looked at the document, it's kind of daunting. Like, oh my goodness, I have to like do all of these steps. But whenever you see how easy it is to add a top tab and to add a Wakelet to a top tab, it's like, oh, never mind. That's easy. I can do that. But we even included a tutorial.
It's funny because whenever I see a document like that and I see a bunch of hyperlinks, I always think that document could be a Wakelet collection.
Actually, we're going to do that, but in the spring, this is how we laid out some of our teams trainings for our teachers. And so to stick with what they had already seen, we just kept with that same format.
We didn't want to overwhelm them because a lot of people didn't know what Wakelet was necessarily. Yeah. So we didn't want to be like, here's a Wakelet. And they're like, what's that? So we're like, we'll just stick to a Word document, which most of them know, and kind of gradually show them Wakelet. Yeah.
But you can see the better. I mean, you can see how much of a difference there is and how much better it is to put it in a Wakelet and how much visually appealing that really brings to the content.
We always do that in the team as well. Whenever we're sharing links with each other, like we'll like sometimes we'll share them on like a Google Doc or a spreadsheet or something like that. And there's always somebody on the team who's like, if only there was a place where you could share all of these links in one place and make them look really nice. And you're like, oh, cool.
I do want to bring light to that real quick though, because doing so much digital work, especially both of us have kiddos in high school. And whenever we do go look at work that is just typed on a page, it is visually unappealing and is almost daunting to read, right? Even as a student or as a parent trying to help. And so Wakelet does bring a beautiful appeal to the content and makes me want to engage with the content, which I think is really important right now in this digital learning age that we are in. So that's something to also remember as you're creating content for your students.
All right, so we're going to go back to this document and show you. So we're going to click on the first one on Start Here. We're just going to kind of walk you through, and we're going to click on that document so it actually opens the Wakelet, and then we can get that link because we have to get that long link up at the top. So we're going to grab that link. We just copy it, and then we're going to go back to our team, and we'll show you how to add it as a top tab. So then we click the plus up in the We space up at the top there. And we find that Wakelet. If it's not there on your app image there, you can just search for it and it'll come up. And then you can paste that link right there. Make sure your Wakelet collection is public. If it's not going to work, you'll see a X. It won't give you the check mark, so you know it's not going to work. And then you click Save. If you want to choose to have it post in the channel, stay with that. And then it just goes right in there perfectly. Love it.
It's beautiful.
So that is what we did, and that's how easy it was to just take those links straight from that Word document and showing the teachers how to add those into their top tabs. So then we went to the next channel. You know, each one was appropriate for each channel, and then they added those there so that they were there. And over time, you know, we talked about they could maybe hide the channels or, you know, move them or, you know, periodically revisit them. So that's definitely an option because it does throughout the year fill up, and you can see how we've structured our teams by weeks. So they you know, teach off of the week, and then they'll hide those past weeks and so on.
Some of the things we do like adding to our top tabs within the weeks are we actually just started creating Hyperdocs. I don't know if you guys have heard of them or not, but we've actually been making them in OneNote a lot of times because we do a lot of OneNote assignments. But another great way to do that would even be in a Wakelet. Because it is visually appealing and is a great way to house your whole content and all of your unit in one document for your students. So that would be a great thing to add as a top tab within one of your channels.
There's a couple of comments in there. I love, we're going to show this to your principal because she loves long posts. So I think that's awesome. Definitely, I mean, when you show Wakelet to people, they just fall in love. Yeah, so they grab it. But I like the question about public versus unlisted. So, and I think that's really a personal preference. Some people like to be a little more private with their content, and that is perfectly fine. We are all about sharing and giving most of what we have. So as long as it's not, you know, doesn't have, you know, private student data or, you know, anything that's particular to our district in any way, you know, we make our things public. But I think that's just a conversation you just kind of have to have, and understanding what the needs of your district are and what information is actually being shared.
I just want to say hi to
also,
Kamal. Hi, Kamal.
I think also the question from Jessica. So when you make a collection public, it will appear on your Wakelet profile as well, right? So making it unlisted means that you can still share it wherever you want, but it's not going to appear on your public Wakelet profile, which everybody has. So just wanted to make that little distinction.
That's a good point.
And that's something, because we were talking about spaces just the other day, we were, like trying to dive into it, like what would we put in a space? Because our job is a little different and we've done a lot of tidal waves. And so we're like, what would we really put into a space? But when I think about it, I have multiple Wakelet accounts. So I have my personal account and I have my work account. And so to me, it makes sense to be able to make a space just for my students to where they don't see all of my content in my account. And so when you're thinking about how you organize your content, like we've started making spaces for units, we've started making spaces for resources. So we have one for like all of our anchor charts, and then we have one for our Jenallee games, and we have, so thinking about how I would share content out within my team, I think a space is a great idea, especially one of the things we love about Wakelet is that it is dynamic. So as I begin to change the Wakelet, it automatically updates within my team, so I can easily post those links and then not have to come back to Teams and repost links over and over again. I can just update the content within my space. So I think that's also something to think about as you're going and moving into creating spaces.
I love that as well. I love that particular way that you're using spaces, because we're still in the stage where I think educators are not figuring out, but coming up with these amazing ideas of like things which we never thought like you'd be using spaces for. So, we see some educators who are using spaces for each one of their classes, some who are using it for their subjects. And then some educators, they just want to keep that, like you mentioned, they want to keep their kind of private resources. So they're capturing all these resources from the web for themselves. And then they'll create a space for their learning communities. And it kind of becomes like a safe learning environment, because you can invite all of your students on it as well. But yeah, if everybody in the chat, if you've not checked out Spaces yet, just check it. It's literally just the plus button in your home area. You can create a space on absolutely anything you want, invite as many people as you want onto it. Of course, it's completely free to use as well.
And I think we added one up here since we're talking about it. Go ahead.
I see a comment about Immersive Reader, and we love that Immersive Reader is available. And on that screen, where we just were, where the Wakelet was.
Oh, sorry.
You're good. I think general.
Was it general? Let's go back to here.
Or either one, I guess they're all in there.
It doesn't matter.
So when you're in your Wakelet, yes, we love that Immersive Reader is there, because whenever you see that little speaker with the book, that means that content can be read, it can be translated. You can change the text size. You can change the color of the background. And Sallee and I both have our own personal children with dyslexia. So this has been a game changer for us, and being able to have that content where the student, can just personalize it to meet their needs. So we are huge fans of Immersive Reader, and you're seeing it pop up everywhere because it's being integrated more and more.
Taking over the world.
Yes, it is.
We love it. But if you also notice, I opened it and I stayed right here within Teams. So it didn't even take me out of Teams to read this content. So that's also something to think about as you're embedding your Wakelets. If you put content and write text into it, it will open right here inside of Teams, which we also love, that our students don't have to go to multiple websites for content. So think about that too as you design your Wakelets. If you do a tidal wave, it will take you out of Teams into the Wakelet, which is fine too. But that's just something to think about as you're creating your content within Wakelet.
And we won't go into a complete Immersive Reader demo, but we just want to make sure that if anyone has never seen Immersive Reader, we know our friends have for sure. That's awesome, Camille. So we can, just quickly show you that you can change the text size, your font, you can change your color background, change your source formatting, or keep that.
That means bold or underlined words, italicized words will stay.
You can pick out your parts of speech, your grammar. We love to do this, and you can actually show the labels and the nouns. You can turn the labels on so those are identified, and we can turn them off so that they don't stay. And then we can also, we only have one line of text here, but if we had a lot, it can chunk it into bigger sections.
And then our favorite, we don't have enough text here to show you, but our favorite is picture dictionary. So many of the words here, it will show you a picture for the word. I know, I'm surprised it didn't, but maybe it's just not enough text on the page. which is also great. I just want to throw this in there too for dyslexia students, because a lot of times they are missing a lot of that academic vocabulary, and an image can quickly give them the content or context they need to understand the text.
And one of the best parts
Yes.
is the translation. So we have over 80 different languages and over 60 different languages that it will actually be read in. So your text will be translated instantly. So we can pick one and we can do the word, or we can do the entire document, and it's instantaneous, like super, super fast. So I'm sure you guys have seen Immersive Reader because it's taking over the world, literally. But if you haven't, be sure to check it out. And I know Ms. put a link in there for you as well. So definitely explore that some more. All right, let's talk about posts.
Yes.
And how we can add Wakelet into our posts.
Yeah, so the first thing you're going to want to do is actually activate Wakelet within your team. So on the left-hand side of your team at the bottom, you're going to see the word apps. Go ahead and click that, and then you're going to search for Wakelet and activate it. We've already activated, so I think it just says open. But for you, I think it might say install or activate or something like that. I can't remember. But the reason we want that, yeah, something like that. The reason we want that is because now within my team, under my post, or I'm trying to think of other places, under conversation, like if I do a new conversation, look right here, Wakelet automatically pops up as an option. So I can post a Wakelet straight here from my collections. It even lets me search my collections right here to add one. I was trying to think of a name of one. I guess start here maybe. Oh, that's in the other one. Yeah, I haven't signed in on it, so it may make me, which we wanted to talk about that anyway. So we're going to sign in. Oh, let me bring it over here so you guys can see. Go ahead, Jenny, you like.
All right, so we're going to sign in. You have lots of options, which we love that, because we are a Microsoft district. There's many Google districts, or you may just want to sign in with your email. So we even have Facebook sign in, and Apple. So lots and lots of choices.
Whatever you use.
So we have a couple different Wakelet accounts. So which one are you signing in with?
I'm going to go with Microsoft.
Okay, we're going to sign in with Microsoft on this one. And just click that, and then it's going to ask you to sign in with your email. And then once you've done this, then you'll be able to pull from your collections and add those posts. So any links that you have in a post, anything there, you can send it directly to your collections. All right, so now that we're signed in, we're going to be able to search our collection. So if this is something that we wanted to, let's type some, there we go. Yeah. So there's some collections, so we can pick one, and then it's going to.
Yeah, let's try again.
Well, let's put some text.
Oh yeah, that's right. So we were testing this too, and we were like, why isn't it working? And we realized,
oh, we have to write something.
Okay.
And our accounts are mostly just testing and demos because we don't have students, although we put all of our own personal kids along with some other friends' kids. So all of our accounts are, my kids say to me, Mom, why do you keep giving me assignments?
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah. But Hunter and Chloe do a lot of work, so we're good. They've been staying up with it.
So in this case, I have a post created. I have put some text in, and then I want to add in one of my collections to the post. So once I write my message, then I just go and pick the collection that I want, and then it will just kind of embed it right here. And we can even make this an announcement. We love using announcements in Teams because it just really stands out and it's bold. It really draws our eyes to that message. So we could put anything here, and we can also pull from the illustrations that are already there or upload our own. So we love making Adobe Spark headers as well.
On the Jenallee YouTube show, there's also a video on how to create them with custom sizes in Adobe Spark. So check that out too.
So now I've put my announcement in here. I've got a great picture. I'm going to put my text in, and this just really draws our eyes. So if this is a collection of resources as a teacher that you've put together, you're doing a research project, or you've got something that you want your students to view and take a look at, you can just put that post right there. We've gone and found the collection and added it in, and it goes right into our post. So we love being able to integrate our collections. What if I had something in my collection, in my post, that I wanted to send to a Wakelet? What if I wanted to go the other way around?
Great thinking. So I don't know if you guys are like us, but Oh goodness, my kiddo could not keep
worry.
up with what he had turned in, what he hasn't turned in, what assignments he has to do, or he turns in blank assignments. And I'm like, wait, you didn't do any work, but he's like, I turned it in. I'm like, no, that doesn't count. So one of the type of Wakelet collections we really like is making a collection of the assignments I need to do, or even a collection of assignments for my students to know exactly which ones they have to do. And so I can come up here to any assignment. Does this one have assignments in it?
Oh, look, we have a comment that says that we're teaching about teams in addition to Wakelet.
Yeah, I like that.
We can talk about teams all day too.
Yeah, I know. Well, when you create an assignment, it automatically sends, I'm not for sure if this one has very many assignments in it, but when you do, it sends a link and it makes it look just like this. So if you click the 3 dots right here, if I
And
click
this is
on
next to any post. It could be an assignment, it could be a link, it could be
any post that has a link though. It can't be text. It does have to be a link in the post. But this one does. So then I can save to Wakelet. Let's see if this one will do it though, because I don't know if that's a video. We'll see. Nope, because it's not a link. So you have to make sure it's a link.
link in it.
Oh, maybe. So let's try it. So I'm gonna click the 3 dots, more actions. There's my Wakelet button because we activated it. Yay. Now it's gonna let me log in and select my Wakelet again. I'm surprised it's making me log in again. But we do have like 4 accounts running on this computer at one time. So just, oh, there it goes. It automatically found it this time. Oh.
This reminds me so much of like my day because I'm logged into like 50 different accounts on 50 different things, and there's like
yeah. If you notice, we have like multiple profiles in our Edge account trying to run multiple accounts. I'm like,
honestly, sorry, go on.
No. I was gonna say, in this particular post, we had 2 links because we had them hyperlinked in there. I don't know if we caught it, but there were 2 really pretty links because we really don't like ugly links. So we always encourage our teachers to hyperlink those and make them look nice.
Well, Jeni has to share her favorite shortcut though to do that, or her short keys.
Well,
go ahead.
You have to use Control K. So when you have your ugly long link, highlight it and hit Control K, and then you can make your nice pretty short link. So sometimes that's the same thing for some people. And then you can make the word say whatever you want, but it's still a link. So we had 2 links in this particular post. So it's saying, which one of these links do you want to add to your Wakelet?
So I'm going to say both. I'm going to say next. And now it's going to let me select all my collections to choose which one I want to put it in, which is pretty cool. And I can also go to group collections. So anything I'm also in a group in. All right. So that's how you can do that. An idea for that might be even your stream videos. So if you are recording, oh, there's an assignment right there. So if you are recording your team's lessons, stream automatically saves to your team and populates, depending on what account you have, but populates inside your post. And so you can also send those stream videos straight into a Wakelet, and then the Wakelet will house and organize all of your videos for you, which is also a great way to stay organized too.
Jessica has a good question. If you make a Wakelet of the assignments in Teams, when a student completes the assignment, does it automatically link back to Teams as a submitted, completed assignment?
It will, if they click the link, they'll see that they've submitted it. But sometimes some of our students get confused because they've submitted it, but the teachers ask them in the feedback to redo it and returned it to them. So they sometimes get confused about it. So it might be that they just need to delete it from the Wakelet when they're done. Or, keep up with what the turn in button says.
Speaking of assignments,
we
Jessica,
found one.
you're taking us right into the next thing that
so
we're going to talk about too.
All day she's been segueing us. She's good.
So this is an example of an assignment that you could send to a Wakelet, but we want to show you going from Wakelet to Teams as well.
All right, so which one do we want to do here?
You pick.
We'll do the one we made here. How about that? Okay. Oh, that's that one, but we'll do this one. Perfect. Okay. So we've made this Wakelet today for our presentation, right? And we want to send it to Teams for our students to be able to see. So I'm going to click on Share at the top. And look.
We love all these options.
Right here is Teams. So I'm just going to click on Teams. And it's going to give me 2 options, which is send it as to a channel. So it'll be a post in a channel that the students can view, or I can even create an assignment from this link as well. So I can choose the class I want to assign it to, give it a title, instructions. I can even assign points from here, due dates, and then here's the link.
And just to note, though, that you don't have as many options when you do it this way. So sometimes we have our teachers create it here and then maybe go back into Teams and do some more detailed information as far as, some of the settings on the back end. But at least this is a quick way to create an assignment. And I mean, it has most of everything that you would need. Your due date and your link is right there and your instructions, and you can just send that directly to Teams.
Mm-hmm. One of the things we really like using Wakelet for in the classroom is creating Wakelets of resources for our students, especially younger elementary, to scaffold their research. So like we'll already curate that content, put it into a Wakelet, and then share it in an assignment as a resource so they can use it with that assignment as well. So
you can send that resource this way, or you could even go into Teams and create an assignment, and we'll just kind of show you how you could add a link there as well. So if we're in Teams and we're creating an assignment, one of the options is to add a resource. And so if we were going to add that collection of resources that Sallee was talking about, we're going to just, let's just grab this link.
I was like, I need a link.
And then if we create an assignment here from scratch, then when it comes to the assignment part, the resource part, we can just add that link. So under add resources, one of the options is a link. And so then we can put in that Wakelet link. And then I love that it gives us an option to basically hyperlink that with the text that we want it to say. So this would be like,
we'll just use Wakelet for this one. Oh, if I could spell it right, but it's hard.
There we go. So obviously you'd have more information here that you would fill out, but that's another way to add that Wakelet link into a Teams assignment.
And also, don't forget, one of the things we love about Wakelet is that you can do it without having an account. So students can add to a Wakelet as a contributor as well. So that would also be a great link to add here. So don't forget about the contributor link. I did. You want me to show you how I did it? Okay. So one of our ideas that we really like is like raise your hand during class or ask a question. Because a lot of times our students in the middle of a Teams class, the teacher's teaching and it's hard to know what the question is, or they'll raise their hand, but maybe the teacher didn't get to them. So we have a back channel using a Wakelet where you can have the contributor link. So we made a channel called Raise Your Hand. And right here, we made a Q&A. We posted it to the post for them to be able to use. One of the things we did notice is that it works better as a post, not as a top tab for the contributor link. So for some reason, it wouldn't find it as that top tab. When I did add it as a website, though, it did not give me the option to edit it. So I want to make sure that they have that editing ability. So we added it as a post. So every day they can come here to raise your hand. Here's my Wakelet. They can click, and here they can go in and add questions that they may have where other students can come and answer, or even I can come back later and answer them as well.
I love that. So you basically have your back channel right there that students can go to, and we have chat turned off in our Teams. So any opportunity that we can give our students to communicate with us, comment, give feedback, we are all about that. So we love the idea of being able to have a place for students to go and contribute and work together or ask questions. So consider something like that, a Q&A post channel in your post, or Wakelet in your post in your channel.
Wait, Wakelet, Tidal Wave, Adobe, Team. So many.
Too many words. Oh, parent questions. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So we did have a channel back in the spring that was parent Q&A or parent information. So we were a little more back in the spring, kind of all over the place. And we kind of took the experiences, because teachers, we were just like, go for it, figure it out.
Yeah.
And so we kind of took those experiences and then kind of, honed it in a little bit more with having a student chat. We even have a student chat channel where they can go in and talk, and just because sometimes kids just want to talk. Like when we turned it off in our district, because it got a little messy. So we turned it off over the weekend, and my daughter said, I heard her yelling, Mom, what happened to my chat? And I was like, honey, it's turned off. She said, I was just going to get together with a friend and I needed her contact information, but these kids hadn't seen each other in months, and they were just starting to come together, and they want to communicate. They want to be able to talk and chat. And I think as educators, though, we have to understand the value in that, but we also have to teach them how to do it appropriately. Because I know they're, sometimes it's frustrating because they're just like, yo, what's up? And, yo, and they didn't, the feed just fills up with that. But
And even in the middle of some of our teachers' lessons, they're like chatting with each other, asking, what time are you getting on to play Minecraft tonight? You know, so that kind of stuff is happening. So having a dedicated space for that is also nice. So
we've just got a question from Julie. You just wanted to see if you could demo how you did the title again.
oh, in the announcement,
I believe so, yeah.
you got it. It's one of our favorite features. So I'm going to do new conversation, and down at the bottom there's an A for format. Oh, it's hard to see it in the video. Sorry about that. Here, I can do this. Okay. Aha. So right here, this A, I'm going to click it, and it enlarges my text box. And then at the top, it says new conversation. I'm going to click that and click on announcement. And now that's going to give me that big headline that I love to be able to really stand out for my students. So now you can type, and then if I click the mountain with the sun, that lets me have an illustration that I want, or I can upload my own as well, which we love customizing them because then the students know exactly which image to look for that content.
And we have some videos on our YouTube channel about how to create custom headers, like Sallee mentioned with Adobe Spark, and also some tips on using announcements. And we do a lot of Teams training and videos. So we definitely, if you have more questions about Teams specifically, definitely check out our YouTube channel because we have a lot of Teams focused content there.
I'm just going to share that in the chat for everybody.
Awesome, thank you.
We also have one question from an anonymous attendee, very mysterious.
We like it. It's fun.
Asking, can we add a Wakelet space to show up in Teams? How do you go about doing that, adding a space?
That's a great question because it took us a minute. And then we're like, oh, now we know. Okay. So inside Wakelet, here are our spaces right over there. We haven't customized our photos yet, but here's an example like my Jenallee lessons. So we use Jenallee a lot to create interactive games. And sometimes we've just started creating them, but for our teachers, we started housing them here so they can get them and see every game that we've made. But you can also do this for your students. So as your units go on, you know, the games or content that you've made can all be in one space. So to share it, you first need to go to the profile page of that space. So I'm going to click on my profile picture and make sure they're public, because if they're not public, the space, they won't show up in the profile page. Then from the profile page, I can now click up here, or even the share button, either way, and copy this link. Now when I come back to my team, I can paste that link right here, and I can share it that way through a post. We're not sure why, but if I try as a website, I don't think I tried it a few times, but I couldn't get it to register. Oh, it did. What? This is awesome. This is gonna make me so happy.
Wakelet though before?
I was, but that makes me so happy.
you
Look,
do it
oh, I can add it as a top tab as a website. So that's really beautiful. And then as a Wakelet, maybe Miss Bud just had to be on the call with us for it to work.
That's usually what happens.
I know.
I was sending some energy for sure.
Yeah, you are.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
You can do it as a.
But it won't let me do it as a Wakelet. It only lets me do it as a website. So just
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So basically, what it is when you share your profile page, which is that basically the space. So you have a space, and if you want to, every space has a profile, just like your usual kind of account. And when you share that profile, it's going to behave just like any other website, really. It's not going to behave like a collection. So when you're sharing that space, make sure that you add it as a website and not a Wakelet collection.
Good to know.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Ta-da. So now it's as a top tab, but you can also share it as a post as well if you wanted to do that too.
So I just opened the Q&A, Ms. Butt, and was going to look at some of those questions too. There's one about Spark.
Good question.
It's free for students. So you might have to work with your IT department and Adobe. Right now we're having kind of a little, we got a new single sign-on, so it's not kind of talking well together. But they did make that announcement about 2 years ago that it was free for students and educators. So definitely take advantage of that because it is a great platform.
And it works beautifully with Wakelet. So definitely check them out.
Yeah, and we've got a partnership with Adobe just as we do with Microsoft as well. So please, like when it comes to Microsoft products, Adobe products, Google products, whatever it is that you're working with in your workflow every single day, or even your LMS. I know that we had a few questions come through about Canvas today. Just let us know. We're a really approachable team. You can literally just send us a tweet, and we look at absolutely everything. We don't want to miss a thing. It's like that Aerosmith song. We want to make sure that we see absolutely everything, every single idea that you guys have. So any addition or any enhancement or anything that you'd like to see like embedded in a Wakelet, just let us know. Like all of the things that you see on the platform right now are all your ideas, and they've all come from suggestions from you. So it's very much a ask and you shall receive type situation. We have amazing developers, and we've got really nice close relationships with our partners. So I heard somebody saying that they wanted Adobe Stream video, Microsoft Stream videos to embed into Wakelet. Let us know those kinds of things we'd like to talk about. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we love being able to, try things and see what works, and and we love that you all listen to educators, and we're in the same situation too. We're like, to teachers, tell us what works and what doesn't, because we just make up students. You guys actually have real students, so it's easier for them.
I have to be mindful because I'll forget what time it is in the UK, and then I'll send James a DM, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, you're asleep. Don't answer this. And then he will. He'll respond.
Yeah.
I'm like,
do you guys ever sleep?
No, they don't. They don't sleep.
We don't know. We've managed to change our body clocks so that we kind of perform really, really well without sleeping that much. But I think that's one of the fun parts of having such an international community. Is like, we want to be available to everybody, like at every time. Like, don't get me wrong, like, we have to sleep obviously at some point, but we've done webinars at like, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. We don't care. Like, we want to make sure that whatever you want from the platform, we're going to try and create. And, we're doing that for free as well. Like we don't feel like the actual platform itself, like Wakelet, is something which educators should have to, reach out and pay for. So, please just keep the ideas coming, and we're just constantly trying to add as much value as we possibly can. So yeah, I mean, all of the ideas which you guys have shared today, and which Jenallee have shown us as well, like this is all new for us as well. I mean, it's not, this particular thing isn't new for us, but all of your ideas and the things which you are coming up with as teachers, you like to break things, you like to be really experimental. I mean, I've been, like I was with Wakelet from like the very, very beginning. So I've seen the platform grow, and I've seen this incredible community are responsible for how awesome Wakelet is. We don't have it where we sit in a room and we're like, okay, what's the next thing that we should put onto Wakelet? It's not that. It's, we'll sit in a room and we'll look at all of the tweets that have come through and all of the feedback and all of the amazing things which you've been suggesting, and we'll say, okay, which one are we going to prioritize? Which one makes the most sense? Which one can we do the fastest? So it's very much your platform, it's everybody's platform in the educator community. And, we just want to, you come up with the awesome ideas and we just build them. It's as simple as that.
Awesome. Well, we love that. And I love seeing all the comments of gratitude and thanks. So, I just know that everyone is so appreciative of you guys, and you guys are just so helpful. And It really is neat to know that we're so far apart, but we all feel so connected, even just through this platform.
I mean, it was so exciting when we did get to meet you in real life. It was like, oh my goodness, our friends. Oh.
Having some
We felt the
memories.
same. We felt the same as well when we were at ISTE and TCA. Like, we're based in Manchester in the UK, right? And there aren't many big conferences in the UK aside from that. But that has a different vibe to TCA and ISTE. Like, for some reason, the American conferences, they're like it's like a big party, The UK culture is a little bit different. We're a little bit more reserved and quite buttoned up and everything. So when we actually got to ISTE, which was the first time which we were in the States, we were starstruck because we saw all of our amazing ambassadors. We saw, people which we'd seen online, and it was just incredible. And I did a post on Twitter just a couple of days ago about that, because I really miss it. I miss hugging everybody. I miss, shaking hands, seeing each other face to face. But, hopefully we'll be able to get through this period of time. And I'm sure that, every cloud has a silver lining. And although it's been really, really difficult for like everybody, I think that we'll come out stronger on the other end. And I think that education in particular will come out stronger because, I always look at it this way, right? I always go back to this, and I know we're coming to the end now, and I'm probably going to go on my MISBA tangents, but I always remember this short video that I watched about the Looney Tunes and how I'm not sure his name was, I think it was Chuck E. Jones was the animator, and he would give all of his animators restrictions on the characters. So like Marvin the Martian, for example, didn't have a mouth, and certain characters, he'd have rules where he'd place restrictions. And then that would force the animators to be really, really creative with what they do and improvise and come up with new, amazing ways that they could get this character to do something. And I feel like that's probably the same as what's happening with the pandemic. All the restrictions which are putting on us are helping us, look at things from a different perspective and come up with amazing solutions that we never thought of. So everything that you've shown today, for example, it's so current with what's happening now with remote learning. And we're just really grateful and thankful that, we can be a part in that. And I really appreciate you, honestly, so much, Sallee and Jeni. Like you bring so much energy, so much passion, and I would really suggest that everybody go follow Jenallee on Twitter and subscribe to the YouTube channel and just get in the zone with what they're doing, because it's really fantastic. What we've seen today is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to ideas.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. We love working with you guys, and we love sharing with others things that we're doing. We learn from these opportunities as well. We love reading the comments and getting ideas and feedback, and if anyone's tweeted anything out on Twitter, we'll go and look at that too. And we love being able to learn from others. That's our biggest takeaway too, is being able to learn something new all the time and being able to share then what we learn with others again. So just that pay it forward and always learning and always growing and connecting.
I mean, the smartest person in the room is the room, and that's what makes webinars wonderful, and being together, at conferences wonderful, because we really do learn from each other. So
exactly.
Thank you all so much. We love the comments, and we've got some new subscribers.
Thanks, Cindy. Woo!
We may have to send some stickers
I know,
out.
we do have some Jenallee stickers there.
Oh yeah, we've got loads of Jenallee stickers.
I know you do.
It's funny. At the conferences, there's like a sticker economy that goes on. It's like everyone's like, hey, it's not business cards, it's stickers. I absolutely love it. But no, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everybody who's taken the time out of your day to join us. We know that you're all busy. For some people, it's very, very late in the day. It's, early in the morning. So we really appreciate it. And, as usual, share all of the ideas and your feedback with us on Twitter. I'm just put our handles in the chat again. What we're going to do now is we're going to basically, Sallee and Jeni, if you just mute and stop your video, then we'll leave the chat running for just a few moments, and we'll share those links again and take some questions for just a few more minutes, and then we'll end the webinar. But we appreciate it. Thank you all so much. You will all receive a certificate for this, and we will be sharing it, the video, shortly, probably tomorrow actually. But yeah, stick around for just a few more minutes before we end, catch up on some of the links that we've shared, and yeah, we appreciate it so much. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.